Good afternoon once again. This is the Oracle Shariananda, and at the present moment, I am developing for you a series of telepathic discussions. And in the last video, we were explaining to you some of the means by which you will know that you have received an image or an idea correctly. And we had talked about having the exact idea, having a related idea, having an associated idea, receiving the color, possibly the form, the texture, and the opposite. So those were exactly 8 of the several ideas. And what I wanted to bring to your attention now is that you would have gotten something altogether different, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th way of knowing something utterly not what I suggested. So I told you in the beginning that I was going to give you an animal. And let's say that I reveal to you what that animal was right now. And the animal that you got was a horse. But it was not a horse, then you would have gotten something altogether different, but nevertheless, you may have gotten a four-legged creature, and you may have gotten that altogether. And then the last thing that you may have gotten, and the animal you may have gotten in its environment. You may not have gotten it, but you would have gotten it maybe in its environment, or you may have gotten something that preys on that animal. So it's no way to know, but you would be very far removed from having received it directly and intimately. But this is not to say that doesn't indicate something else. It may indicate remote viewing, or it may indicate some other kind of knowing that I have no way to tell you how you're developing. But it would at least be an entrance way for you to know that you have greater mental powers, greater brain abilities than you have up to now been using. Last but not least, you would have missed the message altogether. That is not unusual for people who may not be visual, who may be largely auditory or tactile. That means you need to touch things to know, or you may have acute hearing and know things by what you hear. Many of us are great dreamers, and we know many things by that which we dream. We can project out. So we won't say that telepathy is the end all and be all skill or power that one can have. We will simply say that it is one of several that can be of great use to you in this lifetime, especially as we begin to ascend and as we begin to be able to help each other in greater, more powerful ways. So the animal that I did give you at long last was a white rabbit. For those of you who got it, congratulations. For those of you who got associations or texture, as in the smooth fur of the rabbit, or you got the form of the rabbit, which would have been an ovid, because rabbits tend to sit in an ovid posture. You may have gotten the two long ears. Maybe you saw stalks of celery rather than the two ears. You may have gotten something opposite, like a fox or a lion, which might chase the rabbit. Or you may have gotten a related idea, like a Bugs Bunny cartoon, or you may have gotten even Elmer Fudd saying, "I got you, you silly rabbit." So we never know until we have developed the skill just how good we are. But little by little, I am sure that if you practice with anyone, just sending and receiving messages, images, thoughts, you will start to recognize that you can do it. So we're going to stop now and allow ourselves some more telepathy tests. I am going to give you further images, and then I am going to give you one or two phrases for this particular video. Okay, are you ready? All right. Here comes your image. I did not tell you in this sending what the category was, so I will give you a geophysical as the broad category for this particular image. And in the meantime, I will sing you a song while you write down what it was you think it was. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, sister, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me, father, in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. And by now, that should have been big enough hint for you to know that the image I sent you was of the world, of the human globe, something of the we are the world variety. So if you got the idea of world, you did very well. If you got the idea of land or map, you are in something related. If you got an association like Mars or Pluto, or you got a song going on in your mind that includes the world, like I was singing, He's Got the Whole World. If let's say that you got blue as the color that you were looking at, and that was in fact something. If you got the form, which was a sphere, or you may have gotten a penny or a dime. You may have gotten a rubber ball. Those would have been associated forms. You might have gotten texture where you got a sense of bumpiness or unevenness. You may have even seen mountains and valleys, anything that would bring the idea of the world to mind. You may have also gotten an opposite of the world. The opposite would have been maybe miles and miles of space, or you may have just seen a blank, an emptiness where there was no world, no moon, no stars, no sun. Uh, and in the other altogether, you may have felt differently about it. That is, you felt a sense of absence or belonging. It depends on what. And last but not least, you may have missed it altogether and gotten something like a bell or a chair, something that was not related and no way for you to connect the idea of world to it. All right, let's do our next one. The next one will be having to do with the human family. I give you this image. Okay, now while you're writing that down, I'll sing you a little song. I left my heart in San Francisco, atop a mountain they call the Twin Points. I was standing there, enjoying the panorama, loving everything about the joint, never remembering the fire of 1906, and never remembering anything that was bad, like an earthquake or the Bay Bridge collapsing. I just remembered that it made me glad to feel the wind coming in off the ocean, to see the clouds move from the sky, to know the surfers and those at the wharf would always be there for passers-by. Okay, everybody, that's a nice little song. All right, let's see if you got that one. This time I gave you crowds in the street. So you could have seen that scene from The Matrix where you see all the people passing in the streets, doctors and lawyers and nurses and professional people. Or you may have seen the crowds of New York. Or you may have seen the New Year's Eve at New York in New York City with the crowds and crowds of people. But you should have gotten crowds in the street. It might have been a riot. It might have been any scene where many, many people are gathered. If you did that, you were exactly right on. And you can take a note for yourself whether or not you got a related idea, whether or not you got an associated idea, whether or not you got the colors that people wear of different kinds of clothing. You might have gotten a different form, maybe media, maybe a little amoeba or cells in a test tube. You may have gotten texture, which might have meant it may have come in many voices. Who knows how you would have received it? But if you received it and you got this, excellent. Okay, we are going on to the next one. Here comes the image of a vegetable. Now, I warn you against guessing. I really want you to try to receive the actual image and the actual form and texture of this vegetable. Here I go. Okay, here's your son while you're trying to get clear about what it is you got. Here comes your son. All right. I like the United States of America. I like the way we all live without fear. I like to vote for my choice, speak my mind, raise my voice. Yes, I like it here. I'd like to go to the top of a mountain so high, lift my head to the sky and say how grateful am I for the way that I'm living. I'm working and giving and helping with the land I hold dear. Yes, I like it. I like it. I like it here. Okay, so what did you get? I trust that you got a carrot or a bunch of carrots. And be very happy if you got the exact thing. Be very happy if you got another vegetable like a turnip or some greens or maybe an onion or a potato. Maybe you got an associated idea like land with trees on it. Or maybe you got the color which was orange. Or maybe you got the form, which was cylindrical. So that meant that it could have been anything from a celery to a drumstick. You could have gotten the texture, which would have been somewhat hard and ripply along the sides. You could have gotten an opposite of a vegetable, like you could have gotten, say, a candy bar, or you could have easily have gotten a peppermint stick, but you would have gotten a cylindrical quality. However, it would have been an opposite. And you could have gotten some altogether different, like an automobile. But that's very large for a vegetable. So let's say we bring it down to something altogether different, like an egg, which would not have been in the vegetable department, but that might have come up for you. And last but not least, of course, you could have missed it altogether. But here's hoping you did not. Okay, here's our next to our last one, which is now being projected to you. Excellent. And now I will sing you a song while you write down what you think you got. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh, why can't I? All right, that should have done the trick for you. And the thing that you should have gotten here was starry skies. So you should have gotten a night full of stars. And the stars that would have been there for you would have been magnificent. And that leads me to tell you that Starscape is where we all are heading and trying to be. We are each our own separate light here on planet Earth. Each one of us is bright as one point of light. I myself am a supernova at all times, or a comet ripping through the universe, hardly able to see my tail behind me with great light as I spread it to you and others. Know that I am the Oracle Shariananda. I can be reached at my information site, so please see that among the videos here, and know that you are growing and evolving. Thank you. We shall now go to part 4 of our telepathic journey. Bye bye.